Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Coronation Starscream from the third wave of Transformers R.E.D figures from Hasbro. R.E.D of course stands for Robot Enhanced Design, as it says right here, and this is basically a line of non-transforming Transformers action figures, if that sentence even makes sense. This line is exclusive to Walmart. I got this from Walmart.com. No sign of Bumblebee yet, even though I pre-ordered them at the same time. But we only Starscream arrived so far. I guess Bumblebee's been delayed. We'll see how it goes. You can kind of see that the side is a little blown out here, but should be okay. He does have kind of the normal Starscream and Coronation Starscream modes with the accessories you can attach or detach depending on which mode you like. Comes with some alternate hands. You can also see all the accessories here in the little window on the side, which I think is pretty cool. I like how they do that. Otherwise, not too much going on with the packaging. I'm going to go ahead, get him out of this box, and we'll take a closer look. So here's Starscream out of the box, and honestly, he looks okay, but he feels kind of like a cheap, sloppy mess, and it's unfortunate. Honestly, I don't know how many more of these I'm going to be buying, because every one of them, the plastic quality just feels really cheap. I mean, the wings are kind of a softer plastic material. You know, the joints, not necessarily loose, but they feel flimsy. This nose cone piece is just kind of like pegged on here and just kind of falls off, and it's just kind of a softer, more malleable plastic. I don't know. Like I said, they look okay. If you're just going to put it on a shelf and just look at it, like, yes, he looks okay. I like the face sculpt. I think the head looks good. You have the red eyes. You have the evil smirk, which I really like. You have like a ball joint, so you have a little bit of back and forth. You even have a little bit of tilt side to side. Certainly you can look side to side, but it also kind of moves like, I guess maybe it's a ball joint or a barbell situation, so you can kind of like slide this back and forth. So that's kind of weird as far as the head articulation, but it's not bad. But you have the wings here. Now these are attached to this joint that you can kind of move up and down a little bit. So if you kind of like a more straight angle wing, if you like it raised up a little bit, you can also kind of, you know, move these side to side. But this just feels really kind of flimsy, almost rubbery. And it's just got, you know, the bare minimum little paint on here. You have the shoulder here has a hinge and a rotation, as you can see. You have a bicep swivel. The null rays are just kind of, they have a hole here, and these again feel kind of flimsy. There's just a little peg here that you peg this onto, and they fall off fairly easily, just, you know, kind of knocking them. Anytime you brush up against them, just kind of knocks off. You do have a double jointed elbow, which is nice. You have a hinge and a swivel here in the wrist, and you can pop these out. And then you can see the hinge here. This hinge is actually, there we go. It was just kind of stuck in place. But he does have an open set of hands as well. So he's got a fist set of hands and then kind of an open set of hands. So you can mix and match. And they pop out and peg back in pretty easily, I have to say, which is nice. Down here in the abdomen, you have kind of an ab crunch. But it will kind of like loosen up this piece here. And then this can just kind of fall off a decent amount. And I don't know why that's not just molded on there. It's a real soft, rubbery piece of plastic too, which is kind of a disappointment. But you have a swivel as well. You can kick forward, you can kick back, you can kick out to the side. You have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees. There we go. This is a little bit harder to move, the top one. I will say that these joints actually feel pretty good. The knee joints feel pretty good. Then you have a kind of tilt here, and I'm guessing this is the foot. I mean, the whole back of this doesn't move at all. You can move this, but I don't really see the point. But you do get a rocker out of it. So, I don't know. It's just, it feels kind of floppy. Like I said, the wings feel cheap. The null rays fall off a lot. Or null cannons, whatever you want to call them. This piece on the front feels kind of cheap. But if you're just going to, like, you know, pose him and put him on a shelf, he doesn't look bad. I mean, you know, aesthetically, he looks good. I do feel like he's a pretty dark gray, though. Usually Starscream is not quite white, but like a very lighter gray, you know, almost cream colored. And this guy, the gray color they use just feels a little too dark to me. It just, I don't know. I feel like it makes him look off a little bit, but not terrible, just kind of meh. Now, he does come with some accessories. He's got these effect pieces for the null cannons. And the one thing I will say, if we go ahead and look at how this works, don't fall over. Just stand up. There we go. So here's the null cannon, and you can see that it's clearly meant to stop here, and then it just has this large nubbin on the end for you to attach the effect piece. But it just kind of makes it look bad. Like, I don't know why this extra thing is hanging off the end. Like, I know why functionally, but if you don't have the effect piece attached, it doesn't look very good. Like there, that looks good and it works. You know what I mean? Like they attach and they're not going anywhere. But then when you go ahead and put these on, you know, you can get some decent posing. I mean, I'm not very good at posing action figures, I'll admit that, but I will say it's not like it falls off. Luckily, the weight's not too heavy for it, so that's appreciated. But I just don't like the way that they look when this isn't attached. So you kind of have to have him using both, otherwise they just kind of look too long. And I don't really like the look of that. Otherwise, like I already showed you the open hand set, so we have the coronation pieces, so we'll get into this. So you actually get a pretty decent cloth cape here. It feels like a pretty, decent thickness. I don't think it's going to tear or rip or anything. It feels pretty strong. So the way this works, and this is kind of a pain in the butt, I would say it's probably easiest to take the wings off to make this happen. How this works is there is a peg hole on the back of the shoulder, and what you have to do is peg this in, and it's kind of a little bit malleable plastic, which is good because honestly, if it was a hard, rigid plastic, I feel like it would break. But what you want to do is, I don't know if it matters which way you attach this. It probably does not, but I'll do it like this. So you want to take this and pop it through here, like so. And then you need to attach this into this peg hole on the back. So let's see if I can actually make this happen. It's probably going to be super annoying. I'm going to turn this around. Let gravity help me out here with the cape. So line this up. Okay, so that's pegged in. And then we want to rotate that. There we go. All right, now we'll come around to the other side. Now I'm assuming we're going to have to go underneath the wings, because otherwise this isn't going to work. So we will pop this on here, and then let's see if I can get this to work. Probably want to take the null ray off for simplicity. Go ahead and peg this in here. Okay. Now we want to swivel this up. Okay, so there we go. We have the cape attached. And honestly, that looks pretty good. I think the cape works. Pose the shoulder pads, and then we can attach the null cannons back on here, like so. And then we want to attach his wings back on. So let's get these and put these back on here. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and get this attached back on. Okay, there we go. So we have all that attached. And then, of course, we have the crown. Mine got a little bent in the packaging because, again, like everything else, it's kind of a softer plastic. But this actually does fit onto the head pretty well, pretty snugly. So it's not going to fall off or anything like that. So there we go. We have Coronation Starscream. Maybe we'll try to put hands on his hips or something. I don't know. I'm not good at posing action figures. Maybe let's do the Angry Fist. And then maybe we'll do kind of the pose with the hand out. See, this thing gets in the way. That's the only problem. It really does. Let's go ahead and take this off, and we'll give him the open hand so he can be, doing the My Fellow Decepticons. Hold on, let's see. See, the only problem is this does kind of get in the way of things, and there is kind of a clearance issue with the shoulder pad and the piece that the wing attaches to. So you can get creative with it, but it's kind of hard to have the hand out if you wanted to do something like that. So you might have to kind of bend it at the elbow and do, let's see, do we even have a swivel? No, so you kind of have to do something like this. I don't know. It's not the best. We'll put this piece back on. There's just a lot going on with the shoulders and the wing and the shoulder pads and the null rays, and There's a lot going on in that area, so it's a little difficult. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like I can't get the hips to do like a pose that I want. Let's see if we can get this going here. So there you go. That's not bad. Oh, now he's going to fall over on me, of course. So it's not bad. Like I said, he looks okay. If you're just going to put him on a shelf, he honestly doesn't look bad. I do think they did a good job. Like I said, I think it's a pretty quality cape. I think the shoulder pads work. The crown looks really good. It's just, he feels floppy. I don't know why. I think it's just because I really feel like the plastic quality for these, it just feels thin. I don't know why. It feels cheap. I thought the first wave did too. I didn't even buy any from the second wave, but I decided to try this one out. And unfortunately, it still feels kind of cheap. I mean, they're $20 figures, so it's not like you're breaking the bank with them. But I mean, when I compare this to, say, like a G.I. Joe Classified figure, hands down, Classified is going to win. It's just a better quality figure. It feels better. The articulation works better. You get a ton of accessories. I mean, you get a decent amount of accessories with this guy, but I don't know why. The robots for Transformers in their, action figure line, the plastic just feels cheap, and I don't feel that it's like that for any other action figures that Hasbro does. G.I. Joe feels like a better quality. Power Rangers feels like a better quality. Marvel feels like a better quality. Star Wars, these just feel cheap, and I don't know why it is. I don't know why they cheap out on the plastic for these. I don't think they're going to break. I mean, I hope they're not going to break, but they definitely just feel cheaper. So at the end of the day, it's not a terrible figure, but it definitely feels cheap. And coming from Hasbro, that's kind of a surprise, because I feel like all of their other 6-inch action figures are really good. I like Star Wars, I like Marvel, I love G.I. Joe Classified, Power Rangers Lightning Collection. They're all solid figures, and their plastic quality doesn't feel cheap like these do, and I don't really understand. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that these are robots instead of humanoid characters, so because they have to be blocky, they can kind of get away with a cheaper plastic. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out something here because I don't really understand. I think if you're just going to pose him in a cool pose and put him on your shelf, he's fine. But I mean, at the end of the day, you could get the Coronation Starscream that they're putting out soon for the Studio Series collection, and that actually transforms. So why not just get that? The whole idea of non-transforming action figures never really made sense to me, because that's their whole gimmick. They're Transformers. Now, yes, there were Action Masters back in the day, and those were kind of fun, but those were also like $3 to $4 a piece back in the day, which would probably be maybe $10 a piece now. It's kind of like reaction figures. I don't really understand Transformer reaction figures either. Like, if I have a Transformer, I want it to transform. That's what its namesake is. That's what it's supposed to do. But again, if you're just looking for a cool Coronation Starscream action figure, it looks fine. If you're just going to put it on your shelf, it looks fine. But if you're going to play with it, or if you want to give it to a kid that's going to handle it a lot, they feel fragile. They just do. I don't know how fragile they actually are, but they feel fragile. They feel like they're eventually going to break if you handle them too much. Pieces are constantly falling off. The effect piece is okay, but the fact that it makes it have these extra long pegs on the bottom of the null cannon here, it looks bad. I don't know. There are just certain things with this that I'm not overly impressed, and it's kind of the same way I was with Wave 1. They look fine. Did they floor me? Am I super impressed with these that I can't wait to get more? Not really. No. I mean, I'm interested to see what Super 7's going to do, because they usually have pretty high quality figures, and I'm sure they're not going to feel as cheap. I'm not going to get too many of those. I might pick and choose, but I mean, for the price, I think it's okay. But to me, for $10 more, I could get Earthrise Starscream. That's a much better figure, much better plastic quality, and it's going to actually transform. So to me, it doesn't appeal to me. I don't know. I shouldn't say doesn't appeal. That feels too strong. I just don't see the point. I guess maybe that's it. But if you love these, by all means, hunt them down, check them out. But the plastic definitely feels cheap to me. I do still have Bumblebee on pre-order, so I probably will keep him. When he comes out, I'll review him. But that might be it for me for these. I don't know. I gave them a shot. They didn't wow me, and I think I'm about done with these. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Am I being too harsh? Do you think these are great? Do you agree with me? Let me hear your opinions, because honestly, I'm conflicted. It's Transformers, so my brain is telling me to love it, but then when I actually play with it, I'm disappointed. So like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.